Two friends, two minds, and one love for Arsenal Football Club. You are now listening to the Cod and Two Minds podcast.
Hey! Greetings, everyone. This is the podcast Caught in Two Minds. You can find us on Twitter at CITM Podcast. I'm Fitty and at Gooner Rush, and co-hosting with me is E at E Marshall. That's EMARSHO. How you doing, E?
Dilly. I'm doing great. To the pit of misery. Nah, I'm just playing. I'm doing wonderful. Yeah, not too much going on.
Yeah.
Had a pretty good weekend. What about you?
Very chill weekend. After working my ass off for a few weeks there, I just took the weekend off and enjoyed it.
That's great. I didn't really do much. Just kind of, worked, Uber. But I watched that Arsenal game.
Life is, right? I mean, it's not like there was anything too exciting on the screen. But anyway, let's just jump right in. We had two games this week. Midweek game for Europa. Arsenal slashed them, dashed them, diced them. My only thought about it, Jack played great. Jack is poised and ready, and I'm happy with the way he's playing right now.
Yeah, that was the main highlight for me was Jack, looked wonderful.
Yeah.
It's Europa League.
Right.
Come on.
Right. So, moving right along, we're going to get into the weekend. We went and took a little trip to Southampton, and
yes.
This has been a traditional kind of tough match for the Gunners. I mean, Southampton's got our number. They tend to attack us in a organized fashion a lot of times, and this week's game didn't seem to follow the same theme. What do you think?
Yeah, St. Mary's is one of those, it's one of our bogey teams. I think a few years ago around the Christmas holiday, we were rolling, and then we went to St. Mary's and got our asses kicked. Yeah. So, but in this situation, how I feel, Fitz. You should kind of just go ahead and take the floor. If you have a lot of different perspectives and what I want to talk about as far as this game, you go right ahead. I've been watching Arsenal since '99, so I kind of this is a reoccurring horror film for me. But go ahead.
We've been here before. Okay, gotcha. Yes.
Well, let me say something right quick. We gave up a goal within 5 minutes away, and it was a mistake. So, I don't know how else we can really talk about this game, but go ahead.
Yeah. You know what? Even talking about that mistake, I'm gonna skip way ahead to something I wrote down earlier. But the fact that the team just prefers and they try hard to just continue to play the ball out of the back. It's embarrassing. They just, that you have to have enough head on your shoulders to decide like, okay, little too much pressure. Let's just clear the ball. But per trying to like quick kick balls to make some like cute pass and stuff like stop it. Like we got to like, you got to be better, backline. You got to be better.
Hey, man, don't be talking shit about Purr, okay?
His feet hurt. His feet hurt, okay?
Ever since I've been watching Purr, you got to get on Purr's page, baby. Purr don't have to get on your page. You get on Purr's page. Stop it. Yeah, I mean, it fits. I'm frustrated. I don't want,
I hear you. That's what I'm here for. We got to pull it out of you. We got to pull it out of you. Yeah.
The game just starts, and put it to you this way. What's the joke? Oh, early game away after a midweek game, Arsenal usually shit the bed. And, that's kind of what we did. Individual error. I mean, Purr's always done that, Yeah. he's got a few of those in his thing, in his toolbox, but
sure.
It was just, to me, I just want to blame everything on Xhaka, and I don't know why. I'm seeking help for that, but go ahead.
So in one play in particular, the man that you just mentioned came to mind. But basically, it led me to this like revelation. Even though, of course, I've already known this, but Bellerin and Xhaka, like they. It's either the desire or the recognition to push forward into spaces when we're on the break or on the counter. And it's almost like they have to be forced. Like somebody will lead a pass in front of them to kind of make them run up into a space or something like that. But we had a threatening position. Ramsey came in. I think Alexis dropped it off to him. Ramsey looks to the middle. It's wide open, and there's a player there. And I look down. Who is it? It's Xhaka. Wide open in the middle of the pitch. Like, all he has to do is step up and be part of the attack. And what did he do? He just sat back. He just sat back and didn't fill the lane. Ramsey even pointed forward to him, like, move up. Move up right here. Like, here's your spot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's, the longer you stay, what's my little theory? Like, if you're not already world class, if you come and play under Wenger, your talent your talent and confidence is gonna go downhill, and that's kind of what we've seen throughout the years with I don't know, I could name like 50 players right now.
Yeah.
And that's always been my knock on Bellerin is like, I'm just like, oh, it's gonna happen to him, dude. And it's just with him, it was the same thing kind of with Gibbs. It was the lack of aggression, the lack of not really just trying to take over a game. You look at somebody when Monreal used to just play left back, he would get to the byline more than, Bellerin, and he's not really an aggressive attacking, left back. That's not really his style, but every now and then he will do it when it was called for. But Bellerin, he kind of just gets the ball. It'll be in a one-on-one situation. He won't really do anything about it. And Xhaka, basically the confidence just seeps right out of these players, and we can go down the line, Denilson, Bentner, Theo, Ox. I said Theo, but Theo, Ox, what happens anyway. Go ahead, dude. But yeah, I feel you on that. I saw that a couple times with Xhaka.
And then even to Mark Bellerin, but then, I wrote that, and then just a few minutes later, 24th minute, Bellerin actually had a go at Bertrand, and I was shocked. I couldn't believe it, and I was like, "Good job!" #Twilight.
Yeah, but I tell you what, you mentioned Bellerin and Xhaka, but man, those are some good-looking guys, aren't they? They fit that little image, like, oh gosh, look at them,
neatly trimmed.
but yeah, I think on that one, I wanted him to shoot, and I think he crossed it when he finally was aggressive. He did something where I still was kind of upset with him. It's like, man, just shoot the ball.
Yeah, yeah. I think he took an extra touch, tried to get into one more better spot instead of just letting it rip like Debussy.
Yeah, exactly. That in a nutshell is a mockery of the whole situation that we call Arsenal nowadays. Debussy scoring goals and playing now. After the whirlwind he's been on with the club. But, nobody's like really tripping. The fool's been trying to leave for 2 years now. Yeah. He hates everybody. Wenger's a jerk off for not playing me. Now he's out there once a week.
Arsene Wenger actually looked like he enjoyed Debussy's goal too. Like he enjoyed it.
Yeah. I saw that little cloud of smoke come out his penis when he scored. So,
so the end of the half, basically. Actually, the biggest play of the half for me was a foul on Lacazette in the box.
The no call on the penalty
and no call right at the end of half. It perturbed me a little bit. I thought, man, he really missed that call. But then at halftime, to see that the halftime, studio crew, they didn't even address it. They did not even talk about it. And it's like that at that point, it made me really take a look at the play again. And, the fact is, it's not that he somehow affected the shot or something because he was late. But, that's wrong, too. You were late. You didn't get the ball, and you slid through the fucking player. It's a penalty. It's a penalty all day, every day.
It would be. What's the saying? If it would be a foul anywhere else on the pitch. Why isn't it in the box?
Yes.
That was clearly one of those situations where, he caught him. What did they say? He was late. Right. He was late. And it was in the box. So
and that whole slide through him. It's not like he just nicked him or nothing. He went all the way through the player and put Lacazette on the ground. I don't know.
Yeah. No, yeah. I didn't think it, at that point I was just already, it's, what is it? It's 6:30 in the morning. You know what I mean? Still trying to wake up and figure out what's going on. And, so I was kind of like the announcers. It's whatever. We're down 1-0. But yeah, he clearly got him. But based on last week, that's what we could expect from, refs. They're just going to do a shitty job. So,
yeah.
When they say it evens out at the end of the year, well, the last 2 weeks it didn't even out for us.
Seems like couple weeks at least to just, man, and we're not getting some calls. But so anyway, yeah, I did write many missed calls by the refs. There was ended up while I was writing it, there ended up being a second one, but there was 2 crosses by Blockhead that questionably could have been handball. I really kind of felt like one of them was.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah.
If the arm's away from the body, come on.
Yes. Yes. And a couple of offsides missed, including one to our advantage. I don't want to be like, oh, only Arsenal gets shitty calls, but the refs were bad. I didn't think they had a good game at all.
They're starting to remind me of CONCACAF refs.
I'm sorry. Ooh, now that is a real dig right there. No.
Don't even get me started.
So 61st minute, Welbeck on for Per. Get the fuck out of here, Per. Wait, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to speak to Per like that.
Please, dude. Get on Per's page. Per don't have to get That's just get on Per's page. Everybody.
Well, it is obvious. You should never question the captain. Per.
He looked like he saw a ghost in the tunnel. He was like, oh shit, I'm starting? What the fuck?
And then 7 minutes later, Jacques comes on for Xhaka. Ooh, we talked about this recently. I would have liked to seen this happen maybe even earlier in the game, but Jacques brought off the bench to replace Xhaka should be a regular move. And actually, I feel like it should be the other way. Jack should be starting. But anyway, and I was going to say no more goals today, but then maybe Jack can break them down is kind of how I was feeling. Like Jack's in good form. He might help us here.
Yes. I think that the Wenger kind of got his lineups mixed up. not the whole lineup, but I thought like Jack should have played on Sunday.
Yes.
And maybe Xhaka should have played in the Europa League. I just think, or, Purr should have played in the Europa League and whoever else he played with him. What's wrong with, what's going on with Rob Holding? Last year, oh gosh. But I mean, that's what I'm talking about. As you're, if you're not already world class, your talent seeps right out of you the longer you stay with Wenger. And, Holding's a perfect example.
Yeah.
It came on, oh gosh, look at him. I was talking shit. Oh, we got a future captain. Look at him. But now, can't really play, during the season, and Purr's out there. Yeah. Anyway, I thought a few of the players that played in Europa League should have been held out of Europa League to play on Sunday, and Jack was one of them.
Definitely, mostly because that Europa League game was not like we didn't need it.
Pointless.
Yeah, we didn't need it at all. You could have definitely you could have put more of them skinny brothers with afros and braids on the pitch.
Right. Some of the youngsters could have got a run out, and everybody could have got excited, and then we could have slowly watched all their talent seep away within the next 3-4 years.
That Nelson kid, I tell you.
He looks wonderful now, doesn't he? Just watch in 3 years. He's just going to be like Bellerin, just scared to do anything. Anyway.
Sorry. I mean, my actual prediction is that 3 years from now, we'll be hearing the same exact statements. Oh, he's a young lad, Nelson. He could break into the first team at any time. Like 3 years from now, it's still going to be the same thing.
Oh yeah, it's come on. I got a whole big theory on this, and I can talk about it for hours. But nobody believes in my theory. But yeah, the longer these young players stay, the more their talent just like he just pokes them with a little hole, and it slowly deflates.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so few minutes later, Giroud comes on for Laka. Giroud on, I was in support of. I wasn't necessarily sure whether I wanted Laka to be the one to come off, but whatever. That's what ended up happening. Right about at this point, it was really starting to sink into me like, man, if we could just get a draw out of this, because Southampton, like I was saying, not really the classic Southampton-Arsenal matchup. After scoring that first goal early in the game, 10 behind the ball all day long. It wasn't like Southampton. They usually kind of will continue to attack us, and but it was 10 behind the ball, and boy, we had our hands full just trying to fucking penetrate, trying to get in there.
Yes, definitely. And excuse me, that's what coaches do when they really need the points and they're playing against a team and they have a lead. They kind of switch tactics so that you can really try to preserve that win and get all 3 points. That's what you do in those situations. But yes, they really didn't create anything else after. I mean, that's why it was just like such a this is like a tough podcast to kind of just talk about that game.
I know.
Really. But I mean, the fact that our heads didn't drop and we did keep fighting, and eventually we did, get the tying goal.
87th minute, super sub Olivier with just the flick on header from a Sanchez lofted pass. I didn't think Sanchez had a good game, but then boom, classic Alexi. He just dropped in one that we needed at the end of the game, and Giroud made it work.
Yes. And Giroud, he's now tied for the most for the sub with the most goals, 17.
Wow.
For one team. So he scored, that's a lot of goals, man. Lot of clutch goals. Clutch goals.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say he's tied with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the Man U guy. They call him the babyface assassin.
Wow.
But anyway,
I mean, he's truly like fitting in the definition of super sub.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he'll easily break that record playing for Arsenal. We're gonna need him to come in and, you know.
Yeah. Right towards the end of the game, you could even see like a slight bit of a energy pickup from Arsenal, which kind of leads right back to my same complaint all the time is like, for some reason they have to somebody has to flip a switch on them or else they don't just go all out. Like they don't go after shit very hard, which is what all the pundits have been telling us about Arsenal for years. It's the same thing.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But the thing with the Southampton game is we really didn't have we really didn't have a lot of opportunities to get out on the counter, which is what we really like to do. So, hats off to Southampton. They were, they pretty much controlled the game. But our quality did shine at the end and we got the tying goal. But yeah, I completely agree with you.
My only quick last note about the second half, after that goal, all you could see Southampton now turned it back on. They tried to like push real hard to see if they can get one. And just a couple minutes later, they had a break opportunity and Jack, professional foul, recognized what was happening and stopped it. He stopped it all. And that's what a professional footballer can do. And even if Xhaka recognizes what's going on, I'm not sure if Xhaka even gets there to make the foul because he's not athletically inclined.
Exactly. That same play you're talking about reassured me that if Wenger decided to go with Jack and Ramsey in midfield, that Jack could handle that over Xhaka, being that holding guy, kind of let Ramsey do whatever the hell it doesn't matter. Ramsey's going to do whatever he wants to do anyway. But it reassured me that, okay, Jack can handle that, you want Jack higher up the pitch, but I
agree. I agree. And that's exactly the feeling I had. I was like, yep. Okay. I'm down with Jack being back there instead of Xhaka. So that's great. Man of the match. I don't know what to say. Who you got?
It's got to be Giroud.
Thank you.
That was a tremendous header too when they showed the replay because I don't think he saw it coming and he still was able to flick his neck to get it over there to the far post. Tremendous on his part, and great. Well, I don't know who else you can give it to. Alexis with a great pass after. Here's my thing. Just like I said with Ozil, I'm sorry. Ozil to me, he plays the same way week in and week out. I don't understand the roller coaster ride. I've never seen Ozil run around and try to tackle anybody.
Right.
Never. So, and then the same way with Sanchez. Sanchez, he runs around like a maniac and tries his damnedest for the team. And a lot of the times it doesn't come off. But when it does, oh, shit, we won. He's incredible. Yeah. I love him. But now, now, people are like angry with him. And it's just because he wants to get the fuck out of Dodge. And who can blame him? Go ahead.
Exactly, man. I mean, the fact that we're getting a guy that's playing 90 minutes and playing hard, that's all we can accept now. Like, that's all I can accept from the guy. And,
if the rumor wasn't out there that he wanted to leave or he's leaving, nobody would be saying a thing because he always plays like that.
Bingo. Always. That's a very good point. That's what it's all about. Yeah, I mean, that's right. Fitz. That's right on the money, actually. And what's your grade on Wenger?
I give Wenger, what's his, I want Wenger to kind of just go off into the sunset, but these grades I've been giving him lately are kind of cool. I give him a B. It wasn't his fault. I mean, it was his fault for playing but another individual mistake cost us.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. I gave him a C-. And it's over the per thing. But I I guess I'm not grading him on just the game. I'm grading him on the state of this team. One Mustafi injury has sent the back line into shambles. We don't have a Gabriel. He's not going to start a Chambers or a Holding. So we're stuck with Per, and I have turned the corner on Per. He doesn't have it anymore. He's always been slow, but he's slower. His reaction time's not the same. Like, it's time to hang him up, man. He'd be a good coach. He'd be a real good coach. He'd be a good coach.
Take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy. You got to get, like I said, man, it's not Purr's fault. Everybody needs to get on Purr's page.
No.
I'm fucking her.
But, just the state of affairs on the team, like, we talked about it 2 weeks ago. Oh, they've been playing real good. It's good to see them. There's chemistry and an injury. One injury can fuck the whole thing. This is soccer. One injury. So your summer transfer window, Vinger, sucked. It sucked. Just because you got me a couple players doesn't mean shit. You haven't backed up the guys that are on your team. You're letting them down.
Yeah, and this has been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
So, the off season is always a joke, and everybody wants, attacking players going forward, and me and you always scream, we need a center back.
Yeah.
We need a center back. We're always thinking about defense, but that's never the case. We're always going to be short a center back under Wenger. It's been going on for years. But yeah, I feel you. That's very frustrating. And screw it, I'm going to give him a C2 because of all that. He's just and like I said earlier, he did play the wrong, the wrong midweek lineup. I thought he should have played Jack against Southampton and maybe Holden or Chambers against Southampton instead of having to put Per out there, But that would be my only knock on him. All the other stuff, he's been doing that for years.
Nope, I totally agree there. So we wanted to just you know what, we're gonna do add a little just piece to the podcast, which we'll do a little roundup of maybe the top 4 teams, just a quickie, just being that's our goal to finish in the top 4, maybe we should keep an eye on what's going on in the top 4. So around the league this weekend, E, what you got?
Well, I mean, I got a lot, some tremendous games this weekend. Let's start with one of my favorites. Chelsea lose to a David Moyes inspired West Ham team. I love watching Chelsea because of Conte. He's going to self-combust one of these days, and I don't want to miss it. The guy was going absolutely snake shit. And, that's the type of intensity you need every now and then, especially when you're coaching a bunch of mercenaries. I mean, when you look at Chelsea, like when you join Chelsea, you turn into a hardened, grizzled, I don't know what to call you. Look, have you seen Cesc Fabregas
dude, he
lately?
looked all crazy yesterday, dude.
I mean, he just looks wild.
Hair in shambles. He had a gritty look on his face. I was like, Cesc.
Yeah, he doesn't even look like the same person. But bottom line is Morata is no Diego Costa. And you say whatever you want about Costa. When he played, he scored big goals for Chelsea. And, one of the best supporting acting roles ever in Boogie Nights. So they're really missing Costa. But yeah, West Ham. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about West Ham. Let's go on to Spurs. Spurs really win big. I forget who they play. I forget.
Yo, you go ahead because would they spank them? Would they spank them by?
They won 5-1. And before I start, let me just say Spurs fans are some of the nicest and coolest people I've ever met. Every time I pick, I'm not here. This isn't a premise or a setup, Fitz. Okay, I'm being sincere here. Every time I pick one up and talk, they understand banter. They don't really take themselves too serious. So that's probably because I'm one of those Arsenal fans, who's not really arrogant. I understand the state of the team, so it could be that, or I don't know, like a Stockholm syndrome or inferiority complex.
Stoke. They beat
but
Stoke.
Anyway, yes, first half was boring. Kane, who has been struggling, scored 2 goals, and we know what happens when Kane catches fire. So I look for them to really push forward. They will finish ahead of us in the top 4. Oh my gosh, what are you talking about? It's just true. They play harder and they got a little more heart than we do. And their manager is, he's not fucking around. But yeah, it was they handled their Champions League tremendously. They won their group, a group that had Real Madrid in it, Borussia Dortmund. And, they kind of struggled in league. Now that league's over and they don't have to play till, late February as far as Champions League, I really think they're going to push on and go forward. So that's that. Spurs win 5-1 over Stoke. Liverpool, Everton, the Merseyside derby ends 1-1. Controversial penalty given late. And Klopp lost his mind. His post-match interview, every time I see him talk, it makes me nervous. So, but they give up the penalty late. Klopp, all he talks about in the post-match press conference is Everton not attacking, 10 behind the ball. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. We fought so hard to give that penalty. Look, man, when you go to Liverpool, you cannot play with them. You cannot try to, attack them or do anything, or you're going to get your ass beat, And so, I mean, you really can't. That's not a good argument for him. But anyway, the game ends 1-1, and I will say it was a very soft penalty. But, Dejan Lovren, he's a clumsy bastard. That's that one. So let's go over to the Manchester derby. I just love the way Pep handles Mourinho in his press conference.
The Pep. I was just gonna say, like Pep has done this so long with Mourinho. Like he's like, you can see it in his face. Like he's the guy that's like, whatever comes out this guy's mouth, whatever.
Yeah, he just casually disregards everything he says. But I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said, any big game Jose Mourinho plays, he's going to park the bus. He only attacks in the press conference before the match. just beautiful. Just beautiful. But anyway, they win 2-1. It was a good game. Man City, they really did attack and try to win that game, which is very, you don't really do that a lot at Old Trafford. But they really went for it. And Mourinho, he's just scared to lose,
Totally.
He'll do anything not to lose. And which is a shame. You're playing at home and it's Man U, all the tradition, all the glory. Oh my gosh. And, that's the way you're going to play. But after the match, all Jose could do after the match was talk about how there was not a penalty given on Herrera, who's a diver. But he didn't talk about Lukaku's just awful misses. So the game ends 2-1. It was a great game. That's about all I have as far as the top 4 roundup. The great matches though.
So coming up, we got a midweek game on Wednesday against West Ham, and that's going to be at West Ham, I believe. Yeah. And then a short turnaround Saturday early, Newcastle. Well, it's not the early game, but us over here on the West Coast and in the U.S., it's early. Okay, it's always early.
Oh yeah.
So those are the next two games coming up.
Go ahead.
That same Saturday, the Spurs and Man City get it on. So kind of looking forward to that one.
Yeah, my prediction is Tottenham will beat Man City, and our invincible record will stand for another season.
I like the sound of that. I like the sound of that a lot. So, hey, next podcast, we'll get one to you next week. Next Monday, you should look for it. We want to thank you all for tuning in to Cotton Two Minds. I also want to remind you a couple of the things that E talked about, the Klopp interview after the game, a story I posted earlier this week on Giroud trying to make a decision on his future, with the January transfer window coming up. So we're trying to get the Facebook page active. If you guys got a chance, if anybody still uses that ancient social media called Facebook, you can go over to Facebook. What's the name of the page over there on Facebook, E?
Yeah, it's I gotta fix the URL. Still.
Okay, well, you know what? We're going to continue to post content up on the page, and when we get that dialed into exactly the way we want it, because we want it to be easy for you guys to find. And
yes. And it's a fight for the name right now.
When you come up with clever titles and names, then you got to think about how you're gonna, brand it to the world. So we're working on that, everybody. And you could find us on iTunes. You could find us on SoundCloud. Please subscribe. Give us a rate. Give us a review. Anything you anything you want to leave with the listeners, E?
I have nothing. Just get after it. It's getting close. Let's finish the year strong, everybody.
And leave me your Twitter handle, sir.
I'm at eMarsho, EMARSHO, and the show's Twitter handle is at CITM Podcast.
Hit my music, E.
Okay, hold on.
So I'm Fitty. I'm at Gooner Rush on Twitter. And once again, iTunes, SoundCloud, and Twitter. And you can also just search Cotton Two Minds. # One Love. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you guys for tuning in to Cotton Two Minds. Please head on over to iTunes and subscribe, rate, and review the show. All feedback is much appreciated. If you would like to contact the show, drop us an email at citmpodcast@gmail.com. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at CITM Podcast, at Gooner Rush, and at eMarsho. That's EMARSHO. The music in this podcast has been provided by Statics. If you like what you hear, be sure to check them out at staticsentertainment.com and follow them on Twitter and Instagram at Statics Music. That's STATX Music. Peace.
I see you bobbing your head.